Rapper Kendrick Lamar raised some eyebrows last night when he opened the BET Awards singing on top of a vandalized cop car.
When you know we've been hurt, been down before. Hit her when our pride was low. Looking at the world like, where do we go? Hit her and we hate po-po when they kill us dead on the street for sure. Hit her, I'm at the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright.
Did you catch that? Lamar stated his views on police brutality with that line in the song, quote, "And we hate the po-po, want to kill us in the street, faux show." KG.
Ah, please. Ugh, I don't like it.
So, would you please introduce yourself?
My name is Zoe. I'm 19 years old. I'm a sophomore at Massachusetts College of Art and Design, and I'm studying art education with a minor in sustainability. I'm liberal.
So, the first question we'd like to ask you is, would you feel safer in a classroom with a rather ineffective / unprotected run and hide safety protocol, or a classroom with easier access to guns, making them more available and inviting a possible threat?
I would not feel safer with a classroom with guns, and as someone who's studying to be an educator, I know I would not want guns in my classroom at all, and that would not make me feel safer, or I don't think it would make my students feel safer. We actually just voted at Mass Art to keep our on-campus police officers unarmed, which makes me feel safer, and if it makes other students safer, I completely support that. And I don't think adding more guns to the situation is the way to go, and I know a lot of schools around the country are considering that.
Do you believe murder is a term that should be used while debating the ethics of pro-choice and pro-life arguments?
I don't think that's an appropriate term to use. I think everyone's coming from different situations. It's a completely personal decision, especially it's up to the woman, it's her body. And a lot of people don't have the means of providing for a child if that's what their situation is, if that is the reason why they're going through with something like that.
After interviewing Zoe, we decided to interview one of our own. We interviewed Ryan Foreman, an Emmanuel College student.
My name is Ryan Foreman. I go to Emmanuel College, and I would consider myself to be a right-leaning moderate.
All right, so do you believe murder is a term that should be used when debating abortion?
I do not think so, because murder is an extreme term to use in discussing something that differs from case to case.
All right, so police brutality is often seen as a national issue. Do you believe it is racialized, particularly within the Boston area?
I think that there are particular cases in which it is racialized. However, I would say it's definitely a case-by-case basis. Maybe I'm just coming from a very individualized standpoint. However, the one experience that I've had with the police was when I got caught with a very high speeding ticket, and in my kind of town that is not the most diverse, I could have interpreted it as that. I could have interpreted it as with a certain perspective that this cop is coming after me, he's just looking for certain quotas.
Zoe and Ryan's ideological differences illustrate the divide between college students in the Boston area. The importance of these student perspectives is clear, as they are the future of this country. But what about an expert's opinion? We decided to interview Emmanuel College's Dr. Adam Silver to get a better idea of what's really behind our nation's Great Divide.
My name is Adam Silver, and I'm an associate professor of political science in the Political Science and International Studies Department.
Awesome. The first question we'd like to ask you is, how divided do you think American politics are compared to other countries with similar governmental structures? And explain, please.
Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer, I think, in regards to the idea that when we think about similar governmental structures, I think the United States is unique in certain respects in regards to how the president is elected, the relationship about how Congress, the bicameral Congress, and the federal structure. Now, other countries do have a federal structure. Some have a confederate system, where others have more of a unitary system of government. And then some even have multi-party systems, right? So, and we think about division, or we talk about division among the citizenry, or we think about division among political leaders, and the relationships between political leaders and the citizenry. So when we think about polarization, we kind of think of it on a spatial spectrum at times, right? That one person's to the left on an issue, one person's completely to the right on the issue, and they don't really come together. But this speaks to the complex relationship between political elites and the electorate.
We then asked Dr. Silver what his solution to this issue was.
I think that people need to push for it, civil discourse. You need to push for it, because otherwise, the people who like this division, right, it benefits them. They win, and they want, and the whole idea of people in power, right? They like stability in a degree. I mean, the president seems to like chaos in what he's doing, but for him, that's a degree of stability, right? So what I mean by stability is knowing what's going to happen, knowing the rules of the game, knowing how to act. And folks in power in government or business, whatever it is, they like stability and they like knowing the rules of the game. And people need to push and overcome these things. And they want people to give up. They want people to become apathetic. They want people to believe they have low political efficacy and just focus on other things.
What do you think we as young people can do to make our political environment more peaceful?
I think get involved. I think vote. Do what you can in your own general vicinity. And I think a lot of times, not only with younger individuals, but anybody in the political system, I think what happens is we get overwhelmed and we think we have to do all this great stuff, and then it becomes paralyzing, or people either use it as an excuse to not get involved. And I think if we try to make the world around us a little bit better, that there's that old saying about the ripple effect, like throwing a stone into a lake or something like that, right? But I think that's really important. I think getting involved, becoming knowledgeable about politics, about what it means to become civically engaged, and try to help folks and try to develop political agency and try to figure out how to help develop political agency in other individuals. And also, in doing so and getting involved, being civil, being kind. And sometimes that doesn't mean that rhetoric you're using, how you're doing it can be aggressive in certain respects, so sometimes you need to, right? Sometimes you need to really get people's attention, but also think about why you're doing what you're doing. And so I think, getting involved is the best way to do it. Get involved in politics.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
The message is clear. Become civically engaged in political discourse. Despite our differences, we can better understand each other if we listen. More importantly, if we want to make a change, we must first develop political agency. Then, we must start our initiatives locally, inspiring others along the way. By preaching a non-partisan message, we can focus on the human aspect of American socio-political issues. No matter what we believe, we must aim to create effective policy that benefits as many people as possible. And that is how we will melt the ice.